Kia ora, my name is Chris Meyer and welcome to this video where I will cover off 10 common freshwater invertebrates that are found in the Avon River here in Christchurch. So as a bit of a recap, in my last video we ended up with 4 petri dishes separated out into large invertebrates, worms, snails and small invertebrates. So let's now take them over to the microscope and have a look and see what we've got. First up we have the large invertebrates, which turned out to all be Trichoptera or caddisflies. There were 2 free-living caddisflies and 2 in cases. So looking firstly at the free-living caddisflies, we have Hydrobiosis and Silicarema. These can both be identified by looking at their head patterning and the presence of pincers on their first pair of legs. After the free-living caddisflies, we had the case caddisflies, which were actually 2 very closely related taxa, and both can be identified by looking at the position of the stripes on the legs and what material goes into their cases. So there's either Triplectides, the stick case caddisfly, or Hudsonema, the stony case caddisfly. Looking at the snails, we found 2 types. The first is Potamopergus, which can be identified by its tight pointed shell, and if you manage to flip it over, it's got an operculum to protect it when it's feeling threatened. The second type is Pfizer. Now Pfizer is a much larger snail, it's more rounded and lacks an operculum, so you'll see it's actually got a much larger body compared to what Potamopergus does. As well, it's a lighter coloration and more mottled. And when you see them side by side, you can see the differences there. Now onto the worms. The first type you'll find are Oligoceta. So these are your segmented worms and related to the earthworms that you are probably familiar with. However, these also have hairs that you can see on particularly the smaller ones, but most will have them. The second type of worm that you'll find, you'll probably recognize this, is your flatworm or Platyhelminthes. So they have a flat body, unsurprisingly, and they have eye spots at the front of their body, which are sensitive to light and help them move about. Moving on to the last group, first up we have chironomids. So these are often mistaken for worms, but are distinguished from worms because they have a head as well as fleshy little prolegs. So these are actually fly larvae and are quite common once you get your eye in and you see them swimming around in the water column. And that just leaves amphipods. These were the most common in my sample and can be easily distinguished by having many legs and being very fast swimmers, moving quickly around the trays. And just like that, I've covered off 10 common freshwater taxa that you'll find here in the Avon River in Christchurch, and now you can find them too. Ka kite!